Well, good morning to all of you. Welcome back to Namaste Village and to the Namaste Experience. I look out and I see some new faces who have arrived in the last day or two, and it's wonderful to feel this community, this worldwide community expanding, extending, because that's what we're called to expand, to extend, to create what is true, to manifest that, to manifest what is true in this moment, wherever we are, wherever we stand. It could be New Jersey, where Vicky is moving today. It could be Namaste Village, or anywhere in this so-called world. To stand in that reality, that truth. Because that's the only thing that's real, isn't it? To claim what is real to the expense of the unreal. Once again, back to that Hindu prayer of peace. Oh God, lead us from the unreal to the real. Oh God, lead us from darkness into light. Oh God, lead us from death to immortality. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti unto all. You see, it's only when we're offering peace, that last part, Shanti unto all, it's only then that we can be led from the unreal to the real, from darkness into light, from death into immortality. Until then, until we become the source of that, until we begin to give that with every breath, with every word, to be the living, extending frequency and vibratory awareness of that one truth, that we're giving peace in every moment. It's only then that we can see. It's only then that we become the instruments of that peace. I was sitting here as Scott was singing, just asking, make me an instrument of your peace. Make me an instrument. In other words, don't let it be my words. Don't let it be anything that I want to say, because what do I know when it really comes down to it? Well, actually, Vince was, I was chatting with Vince right before the session, and he said that when he was here last year, he takes a nugget, because he's leaving today, and he takes a nugget with him when he leaves. Last year, that nugget was something that Vicky said spontaneously, which was, there is no spot where God is not. And this year he's bringing, I know nothing. Stay with that. It seems silly, but it's so true. I don't know anything, but all things are known through me when I surrender completely. All things are known through me when I surrender completely. And then that light, that holiness, that grace extends. Then I truly become an instrument of peace. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti unto all. So this morning, I thought, in order to sort of honor and bless the fact that the master teacher within is doing so well. I know all of you have downloaded your copies. See, okay, hopefully. If not, what are you waiting for? You only have 2 more days. It is free, so go to Amazon, download your copy. But I wanted to share one of the lessons. I just opened up the digital copy on my phone, and I came to this lesson. I felt it would be very appropriate. So as a way of celebrating the fact that there are thousands of people around the world right now sharing these lessons, let's really open up to this one. As you know, all of the lessons began with a question. I would write out the question, and then it was so bizarre and continues to be so bizarre, falling into this state of unconsciousness in my little cave over here. And then when I open up my eyes again, the answer is there. So here's the question. Probably the hardest thing for us is to put our complete focus on one thing at the exclusion of all else. Why is this so important, and how can we achieve this level of intent? And then I would always type, I now open to the master teacher within and the whole mind that is forever my own. And here's the answer. A resolute, unwavering focus on what is true dispels all illusions. Once again, a resolute, unwavering focus on what is true dispels all illusions. These words offer you a total escape from the split mind's assumed dominance. Total escape. If this is true, and I promise you it is, then you've been given the key that opens the door to the direct experience of your unchallenged wholeness. Let's just pause there for a moment. The direct experience of your unchallenged wholeness. That sounds pretty good. Isn't that what we want? Isn't that why we're here? To have a direct experience, not just an idea or an intellectual anything, but a whole direct experience of that which is unchallenged within me. Because when you have a direct experience of that, the world is over. The world of illusions, the world of guilt is over. Until then, as long as we think that there is an alternative to that direct experience, we won't have it. When we realize there is no alternative, only love is real, period, e punto. Only love is real. There is no alternative to that except in my imagination. But what is in my imagination is not real. It's imaginary. It's an illusion. But when I have a complete, unwavering focus, a resolute, unwavering focus on that reality, something lights inside me. You know that feeling like if you're at a gas stove and you push it. So many stoves have this today where you click, click, click. It's that little spark that catches the fire. That's what's happening inside you. These words are that click, 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 click. And the gas, I don't know if gas is the right analogy, but we'll use it for now. We'll just say the love within you ignites. And then you jump into that fire, dive into that fire. Don't hold back. Have a resolute, unwavering focus on that one thing, because that's what leads you into the direct experience. And it's only that, only the direct experience is going to give you what you really want. Until then, you're swimming in ideas of what you thought you wanted or what you believed might somehow give you something that is eternal. The only thing that's going to give you an eternal gift is the eternal, is the whole, a direct experience of that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So once again, if this is true, that a resolute, unwavering focus is what will dispel every illusion. If that's true, and I promise you it is, then you've been given the key that opens the door to the direct experience of your unchallenged wholeness. Do not look back upon the world the split mind loves. Every relationship and need you have is automatically protected and resolved if you hold to this focus. Do not waver from it for even an instant. And then you'll open up your eyes to such a glorious vision that the world that you thought you saw will dissolve before you. The world of separation dissolves before your eyes. If this is truly what you want, which is what you've claimed, then you hold the key now that unlocks the only door that you have yet to open, the door into the direct experience. Now, the thing is, we've all had a lightning bolt experience. You know, when lightning strikes, if you're in a very dark place, when lightning strikes, just for that instant, you can see everything. That's what the direct experience is. Just for an instant, you see the entire universe and you know where you truly are, rather than being in the darkness where you're lost. Once the direct experience strikes, you know you never left your home. You never could really leave your home. Reminds me of the story that I've told before, and I'll tell again because some of you may not have heard it. And even if you've heard it before, there'll still be some value. Sometimes we need to hear things over and over and over for them to really sink in.
Truth is never redundant.
I love that. The truth is never redundant. You know, there have been times when there'll be people who will say, you know what, I've already heard that. Isn't there something new you can say? And I know that when someone says that, the truth is they haven't heard it, because the truth is never redundant. When you're in the experience of that truth, every time you hear it, that spark enlivens you again. Of course, it's expressed always from a different angle, but the truth is never redundant. And when you hear it, when you feel it, you come to life again. So this is a story about that direct experience and what happens when you have that direct experience. So imagine that you're standing in a very large field and you're alone and there's a longing inside you. You're not even sure what that longing is for or where it comes from, but there is this longing that feels like the longing for home, a place where you belong, a place where you are held and loved. But you know that somehow you're not there. Whatever that place is, wherever it is, you're not there now. You're in this very large field. When suddenly you look over to the left and you see someone standing there, and you can tell and you can feel just from looking at this one that he or she, however you imagine them, is a mystic, and they know, somehow they know. And they're standing next to a path that leads into the forest. And they say to you as they point at the path, all you need to do is to stay true to this path. And I promise, if you do, you'll arrive at your home. Well, what do you have to lose? You've been standing here in this field for so long. You've been feeling this energy of home, of longing. So you decide to trust this mystic and you decide to begin that journey along the path, and you walk into the forest. And at first, when you're walking through the forest, you're filled with energy and enthusiasm, and you walk with great speed, because maybe it'll take a half hour, maybe it'll take an hour, but you're surely to get there quickly. But after a few hours, maybe you start to slow down a little bit. Maybe this is going to take a little longer than you thought. And so you begin to slow down and you begin to look at the beautiful vistas that appears through the trees, or you look up and you see the birds that are there. And before long, you're walking at a slow pace, we'll say. In fact, that first immediate energy that you felt when you entered the path is not quite there. Maybe you even walk back once in a while, and so that you can see something you saw an hour earlier, or sit in a spot that you thought you would be comfortable. But you continue on. And maybe this takes many days. But one day, as you're walking, you come to a clearing in the trees. And you look into the distance and you see home. Imagine it maybe as a castle. There it is. It's still in the distance, but there it is. You no longer, from that point on, are walking in faith. The belief that if you stay true to that path, you'll somehow, at some point, arrive at your home. You're no longer trusting that mystic who told you this. Now you've seen it. You've had a direct experience. Do you think you're walking slow at that point? No. From that moment on, you're running because you no longer believe, you know. And you run and you run and you run until finally you arrive at the gate and you fall exhausted and happy because you're finally there. You're finally home. And as you stand and you're ready to walk through the door, you notice that there is a map posted to the door. And you look on that map and you realize something incredible. That the field and the path and everywhere you've always been was part of your home, was part of the property that defines your home. In other words, you were never away from home, but that longing, as we heard here before, a resolute, unwavering focus on what is true, your home, that was all that was required for you to realize that. So here we are now. We've come to that parting of the trees, and you now look and you see and you feel that there it is, that direct experience. And if you've yet to have that, trust your mighty companions, trust your brothers and sisters who have seen that and know that, the ones who are running. You will always know the one who has had a direct experience because they're the ones who are running to the finish line. Because there's nothing but that when you have had that direct experience of the real, there's nothing that can substitute for that. So once again, if you've yet to have it, just turn to your brothers and your sisters, your mighty companions who are running, and run with them. Even if you can't quite keep up, run with them. Because you're about to have that experience. The only true experience you could ever have, where you know. Once again, a resolute, unwavering focus on what is true dispels every illusion. So here we are. Vicky is still moving, so she is going to take another day or two off. But we do have our dear Calico, who is always with us, always ready. We were talking at the breakfast table how wonderful it is to know that she's always right there, ready to add her insight. And so what I thought I would do is I'm going to have Calico share for a few moments about that experience, that parting of the trees, the resolute experience of knowing, that direct experience. And then, Scott, I'm going to have you come up and not only sing, I would love for you to sing a song, but I'd like you to share, if you would, from that same place. Okay. So Calico, hello, dear one.
Hi, sweetheart. You know, this is perfect. You know, and this is just where I find myself now in mind. And that changes on a regular basis because the mind I had maybe 10 years ago or even yesterday is very different than the mind I have today. One of the things I woke up with, and this doesn't happen often, so it's always kind of a glaring shadow. And I woke up with thoughts of somebody that an interaction didn't go the way I wanted it to, okay? And it's like, it's kind of like me slapping myself in the face first thing in the morning. It's like, okay, we're not going to start the day out with this shadow. But the Course even talks about it. It's like, you know, how do we get to this single desire of the peace of God? It's by seeing our thoughts of shadows. Because until we see what we're thinking, we can't do anything about it. We're doomed to just kind of collapse into a puddle at the end of the day going, thank God this day is over. So, it's like I have a very good, I mean, for whatever reason, I can see when I'm shadow thinking. And I stay in a very peaceful, happy place, except when I, have these shadows come in. And this morning, just knowing I was not going to leave the room without dealing with this in a very powerful way, I just thought, okay, every time I have this thought that this didn't go my way, every single time I am making that thought more real. And I'm moving further and further away from my bliss place. And so it's really kind of, this is the mind training. Okay, come back here. We're no longer going to entertain that thought. That thought is so not helpful. And the direct experience, I mean, once you get the direct experience, and I say, do whatever it takes to get the direct experience, because it becomes insufferable to have any other thought that takes you away from that place. And so, my mind training continues because I'm still in form and I still have thoughts. And the course even says, think about, chew on this for a while. Every single thought is an ego thought. Whoa. I mean, that'll humble you very quickly. It did me. And it's kind of like, oh no, that can't be true. And then I started thinking about it, go, no, pretty much. Because if I'm not thinking thoughts, I'm just happy in the bird sounds around here. I'm just being one with the birds. I don't have thoughts. But as soon as I have, like this morning, when I woke up and had this thought, God, that didn't really go the way I wanted to. It wasn't a big upset. It was just, wow, that didn't go the way I wanted to. And it was like, holy moly. I am, and it really was, I am my own best teacher. I'm not leaving this room until I handle this, because this is totally unconscionable. Will not put up with it, cannot put up with it. And it was just by sitting and going, okay, every time I have this thought, I'm making I see it as a backhoe, ego backhoe. I'm making this ditch deeper and deeper each time I have this thought, deeper and deeper. And it's taking me away from enjoying the field that I find myself in, because I'm too busy digging a ditch with which to throw my body in at some point and cover it up. So yeah, I just say it's the mind training. If you haven't had the direct experience, really start doing the mind training and watch your thoughts. That's all it takes, is just watch them. And every now and then when you catch one, look at it, because as the course says, they're all ego thoughts. So you can find out a lot about yourself by what you're thinking. So there you go. Thank you, James. Love you.
You can find everything about yourself by what you're thinking. Wherever you are, that's where you'll find yourself. Wherever you are, whatever you're thinking, whatever's in your mind. So let your mind be open. What do they say? The mind is like a parachute. It only works if it's open. Yeah. So we have to allow the expansiveness of our whole mind, not our split mind, but our whole mind to be open, because then it envelops everything. And the direct experience of everything is immediate. So, Scott, I'm going to invite you up to share your thoughts on this experience that we're sharing. And if you want, you can end with a song.
Okay. Just in case. Hi, everyone. I would love to add to this conversation, but I don't remember a thing about the conversation, nor do I think I know anything to add to it. So let me just take a deep breath. remembering this experience that I had at A Course in Miracles conference many years ago when I was a professional seeker. And I was taking a nap and I was woken up by what seemed like a voice inside me saying, go down to Tom Carpenter's workshop. So I went down and he was fielding questions, and I raised my hand and I said, I was just woken up from a dream, by a dream that told me to come to your workshop. And I wonder if you have any gifts or information or something that, that you'd like to share with me. And he said, what if you were woken up from your dream, not because you had something to get, but because you had something to give? And something just shifted within me, and I retired the plaque I had on my wall that said, professional seeker. And I started to act as if I was here to give, to serve, even though part of me still felt very much like I'm incomplete, I've got an ego, I'm screwed up, I need therapy. I just started to act as if I was whole, complete, and began to have direct experiences of my inner master teacher saying, go this way, give that person a hug. But I had to start by pretending, or it felt like pretending, that I was whole and complete. It's a wonderful place to begin. To just imagine, because we're all imagining, we're all dreaming. This is just a dream. So imagine that you're in a dream called I Am Awake. And imagine in that dream, you are here to be truly helpful and you have a lot to give. The greatest lie of the ego is, I don't have anything to give. I haven't taken enough of the workshops. I'm still a student. I haven't finished A Course in Miracles. Now I need to do A Course in Love. Oh, then I heard about that other thing. Oh yeah. It just becomes an endless cycle. And only you get to say, I'm done. Nobody's going to come, no authority figure or God figure is going to say, you have now awakened. It's time to share. It's time to teach. It's you, the inner authority, the master teacher in you that says, enough. Let's begin the journey inside the kingdom. Indeed. I want peace. Let all arguments just cease. I am this peace. When I focus my attention, it does increase my undivided, unwavering attention on what is only real. No more here to search and seek, letting reality reveal. No more here to search outside. I'm letting the master reveal.
Wow. That feels so good. Pretend you're enlightened. That is the best advice. It's good advice because what you're pretending is true. If you pretend what is true, then the truth of that experience is almost automatic. It is automatic. If there was a giraffe that somehow got mixed in with the zebras and thought it was a zebra, it's just a zebra with a very long neck. And then suddenly it sees a herd of giraffes that also have long necks. And this one begins to realize that oh, never mind. I don't know where I'm going with this. Sometimes I'll start an analogy and it's like, I'm sure it's going to reveal itself to me at some point. It's something about a zebra and a giraffe. I don't know. Just pretend that you're whole, pretend you're awake, pretend that you're one with God. And I promise you that the experience will follow, the direct experience of your wholeness. So because we didn't start with this, we're going to go ahead and close with what we've been using as our opening prayer. So why don't you go ahead and join me as soon as I get this up on the screen. Okay, here we go. My soul has but one goal, to awaken to the truth that is forever true. My heart has but one desire, to remember the passion of infinite bliss. My mind has but one focus, to embrace the reality that is forever real. I choose to awaken now to the infinite love that is my source. I give everything to this love, just as it has given everything to me. I am awake now. How is everyone today? Awake and ready. Feels everyone today? Awake and ready. Then we'll say, as Gina says, very good, very good, very good. Yay.
Yay.
I wasn't on the screen. Let's do that one more time. Very good, very good, very good. Yay. And there you go. We love you. Have a beautiful
You're
day.
so great. Love you.
Happy
Yay.
Tuesday now.